Thank you for the introduction. So, yeah, thank you. So it is really an honor to be on this stage in University of Tokyo, and it is true, especially for me, because I lived in Osaka when I was really young and went to a public school, elementary school. So I wish if I could speak in Japanese, but because I have really rare chance to speak in Japanese, so maybe this time I will talk in English. So the same thing in Japanese. So 僕も日本語で話をできたらいいと思うんですけど、僕の場合はめったに日本語で話す機会ないんで、この日はなんか英語で話すことを許してください。And also, I'm really grateful to take part in this great forum. And I was inspired and learned a lot, and even in this last session. So, like Dr. Lin said, infrastructure is important to get out of poverty. And then one of the important soft infrastructure might be education, what I'll be talking today. And also, when we want to make better education, then education for whom? So only for smart kids, or the kids from affluent family, or all the kids? So that's what I will be talking about. So like with all the technology available today, and what we can do to help children around the world to realize their potential. So let's think what we can do. Like this, why don't bonk the kid in the head until they give the correct answer? This makes perfect sense. No, maybe, because this is cartoon from 1960s, so the people in the past think that the technology will replace the teacher and do things like this. But as Zheng Ma says on the first day, this is kind of extreme extent of treating human as a machine. So, but it's time to treat human as human. So what do we do in that regards? So with technology, I believe that now we are enabled to reach children who were left behind in the current education system. So our company name Numa comes from enumerate, or count all children without missing one. So we believe that the technology could help all children around the world to be independent learners, so that they can keep learning and realize their full potential. But the question is that, by saying all, what do I mean? So in an ideal world, the expectation, or at least the goal of the education system, is to have a student keep meeting age-appropriate learning level. Like, for example, the kids go to the 5th grader, and then he learns what he is supposed to be learning, and then move to 6th grade, and then add knowledge on top of that. But we know that in reality, it doesn't work so well. To follow the progress of the school, there are so many conditions to meet. For example, you must have good school around you, and the school must have good teachers, and then your parents need to be willing to send you to the school. And also, you must have the capability to follow the curriculum. If any one of those conditions is missing, well, it doesn't work well, and then the children will fail. So along the way, lots and lots of children are left behind. And only a handful of lucky children become successful product of the education system. I guess everybody in this room is one of those people. And when you look at the number, it's really astonishing. So according to the UNESCO report from 2017, there are more than 617 million children that are not achieving minimum proficiency level in reading and mathematics. It's almost 60% of children around the world. And we are talking about the minimum proficiency level, not even the age-appropriate level. So it depends on the age, but for example, if it is a high school student, the minimum proficiency level is like second grader in elementary school in reading and math. So you may get the idea how minimum it is. And that is tremendous waste of human potential that could threaten progress towards the sustainable development goal. So like the former Vice President Greenspan says on the first day, this is how the corporate cannot find workers and then people cannot find the jobs. Because there is a huge gap between the skills required for the job and then the capability to learn or the skill that the workforce has. And also former Prime Minister Letta says that education is the foundation of democracy. And this doesn't look like a solid foundation for that. So what to do to solve this problem? So many people has been thinking that technology would be the solution to the problem. And many attempts have been made, yet still not a solid solution was found. At least until some people realized that the missing piece was software and launched the Global Learning XPrize a few years ago to find such software. So let me show what the Global Learning XPrize was about by this video.
256 million children who are out of school in very underprivileged communities.
That's an estimated 250 million children around the world who don't have access to basic literacy and numeracy.
I've been to the field. Those villages are very, very remote. Schools are very, very far. So some of the children, they've never got an opportunity to go to school.
I call them the unreached.
We launched the Global Learning XPrize to inspire innovators all over the world to create open source learning software so that children have access to learning wherever they are.
If really we can establish that the software is successful in teaching children without access to school, the experiment could lead to a breakthrough in covering many, many, many children everywhere.
The Global Learning XPrize has a $15 million prize purse sponsored by Elon Musk. The grand prize winner will be determined by which software application has the largest learning gains in reading, writing, and math within a 15-month period. The question we set out to answer, can children learn on their own using adaptive software? Can they be taught reading, writing, and basic math? The answer is yes.
This prize has opened the eyes of many children who otherwise would have not known what it is like to get even simple education.
Alikuwa mimi sijui kusoma. Alipokuja mimi nimeshakuja kujua kusoma.
So for this competition, there are more than 700 entries, and then among them, 5 finalists has been picked. And then it went through 15 months of field test with about 3,000 out-of-school children in rural Tanzania in about 170 villages. And then they took exam before the pilot and after the pilot, and then they picked the winners based on the learning outcome. And then, yeah, we are named as one of the 2 co-winner. And I'm over there, and then this side is the UK-based non-profit. And by doing this, we prove that the digital solution is possible to solve the illiterate problem. And we keep trying to show such a solution works in various environments, because it is not just a regional problem. And hoping one day that it could transform our education system to include all the children. So for example, a few weeks ago, we launched the pilot program in Bangladesh for the Rohingya refugee camp. So they wanted to teach the children English for various reasons, so that in the hope that when the children have English, then they have more opportunity around the world. But obviously, it is really hard, next to impossible, to find teachers that can teach English to Rohingya children. So we used our product Kiki School that is used for XPrize, and right now we have English and Swahili version of the app, and also we are developing Spanish version and more language to come. And we are using that one so that the children in refugee camp can learn basic English and math skills without much of adults' help. And another project we are doing is to make a Korean variant of Kiki School for kids in multicultural family in Korea. Yes, because of this kind of problem exists not just in developing country or some extreme environment like refugee camp, but like in Korea, like Korea, the developed country. So multicultural family in Korea means that either parents is an immigrant. So that immigrant parents usually are not good at speaking Korean. So in ideal world, children from such a family could speak both languages and then has potential to become really great global citizen. But in reality, is that the foreign-speaking parent is discouraged to use the mother tongue in family, so the kids are not exposed enough to either language anyway, and then goes to school without preparation. And then, especially in country like Korea, the interest in early childhood education with peers, yeah, this makes more problem because that kind of kids keep failing behind. So we wanted to show that software and technology could mitigate such a problem. But one thing to notice that it all begins to solve a small personal problem. So, yeah. And as Iro said, this is my son and me teaching my son. So my son was born with severe special needs. So I knew that I need to help him a lot. And I knew that it's beyond my personal capacity. And I'm not a teacher anyway, so I decided to build a software, which is I'm good at, and to help him and help myself. And because I thought that there are many other children or parents that need similar help, I decided to start a business around it. And that assumption was more than true, it turns out. There are special needs children in the US, a lot, and there are children without enough adult supports in the developed country. And also there are children in the remote rural villages in developing country without school, and then children in refugee camp who don't have any teacher. So it turned out to be a big global problem, begin with my small personal problem. And we realized it by acting super locally, but thinking globally, as the saying goes. I hope we could make all the children around the world enjoy and keep learning and fulfill their potential like this. So they learn together, enjoy learning together, and some other kids just do on their own pace. And then they learn how to learn other things. And in today's world, when the kids have basic literacy skills and then ability to learn, then there are a bunch of learning methods like YouTube or MOOCs or whatever. So really easy to access what they want to learn when they have basic skills and also motivation to do so. So another thing to add to this is that we are doing this not because it is a good thing to do, but also it is my obligation to enable next generation for our future. And also on the first day, the President Chae Tae-won from SK mentioned that social value and the commercial benefit must go together. And then I totally agree to it. And I think that the social value is not necessarily a burden to business. In fact, rather, it could open up an unprecedented opportunity or even build industry when we tackle a big social problem. So this is my talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I mean, when you started with building that software for your son, you probably never realized how it would shape the futures of so many young people. Now, looking again into the future, what do you think your software or your capabilities will do in terms of shaping the futures of other children?
So yeah, basically right now we just proved that this is possible. There are a long way to go to, for example, we need to make more languages. And also it's not just us that can solve the problem. We need to build the industry and then have more people do the same thing in the same direction. And then also set up a quality standard so that in the end, we want it to lead to the digital transformation in education system so that we can have more or all, if possible, children to fulfill their full potential. And also they can contribute to a better future altogether.
Thank you.
Thank you.